WETS.
Happy day. There's nothing special going on this week, so I guess it's just a normal day. This week's episode of WETS, I'm featuring a rock and roll t-shirt from the Australian Music Festival, Splendour in the Grass. Splendour is often sort of indie and it's a bit more tailored at hipsters. Hipsters, don't be offended at that. The year I went was 2009. The headliners for that year were Block Party and Jane's Addiction. Well, it was originally Jane's Addiction. However, their drummer had a screwed up elbow, so they pulled out on the day. We literally found out as we were driving down, had the radio on, and Jane's Addiction pulled out. But they were replaced by Living End, who are a solid Australian band, and they were really good to see. I went down with two mates, and I left my girlfriend behind. Possibly a bad move in hindsight. She doesn't really let me forget about it. Having said that, she's admitted that she's kind of glad she didn't really go anyway. I think it's more the point that I left her out rather than the fact that she wasn't specifically there. So, Caitlin, I'm sorry. So at the Splendour lineup for 2015 announced this Wednesday, I thought might do my Splendour shirt. Since I went, there's been a couple good lineups, but it's a really expensive concert to go to, and it's just never been worth the money for me. This year, Blur will be there. They're pretty good. So before I was rudely interrupted the other day, I believe I was talking about the current lineup for Splendour, and I guess given it was just recently announced, good chance to get in on the action and talk about my past Splendour experience. I didn't really have time to keep going with this on the weekend, so it's now Monday, and I'm finishing up last week's video. I've got about 5 days growth. You can see nice bushy beard. But alas, back to Splendour. So yeah, this year there's Blur, who are quite a good band. I don't know many of their songs, but they just got a nice sort of Brit rock feel to them. Florence and the Machine, I don't particularly like her that much. It's just not my style of music, but I will admit she is actually quite good though. The Rubens, yeah, they're alright. Boy and Bear, not bad. Royal Blood, I actually quite like them. But out of the headliners, Blur, really the only one that I'd say I like. I'm not going to go to a festival just for them, though I don't like them that much. And as I said, I only know a couple of their songs. They're good, but I'm not a massive fan. A lot of indie bands on there, though, so if you're into that, then I guess certainly well worth your while going along. Or if you pretend to be into that sort of stuff, at least you can say, oh, I was there and I saw, I know, Peking Duck, I know they're on there. I don't even know what they do, but I've heard of them. So yeah, that's my opinion on Splendour in general. The year I went is probably the only time I'll ever go. As for the shirt, I was at the merch stand, right? And from a distance, it just sort of looked colourful and cool. Couldn't really see what the pattern was. Looked kind of like an ink blot test. It was sort of mirrored and yeah, but obviously colourful and not black. And it says Splendour in the Glass. Splendour in the Glass. That would be very painful for feet. Splendour in the Grass, rather. And I thought, yeah, I'll get that. That's a cool shirt. Up close, it's actually a picture of bunnies and mushrooms and butterflies and flowers. So not overly masculine. One thing that a lot of musical festivals do is they always have a theme that they sort of run with. And from memory, this year's theme was sort of, you know, all nature and habitats and animals, flora and fauna. This year, Splendour, they've got sort of old-fashioned dudes, but then, I don't know, just have a look at it. But anyway, so the shirt runs with the theme. I wouldn't necessarily buy a shirt that's just full of rabbits and mushrooms and butterflies and flowers, but the way it's done, I don't mind it as a shirt. One thing I'm a little disappointed about, which in hindsight I probably should have got a different shirt, is there's nothing on the back. So when you're at a festival that has a massive list of bands, it's nice to just have, you know, that listing on the back, like the Big Day Out shirt, for example, or any other concert you go to, they often list the tour dates on the back. This has neither tour dates or bands, it's just blank on the back. And from memory, there were a couple of shirts that did actually have that detailing, although probably the art on the front maybe wasn't as interesting, which would explain why I went for this one. So that's my Splendour shirt and my take on this year's Splendour announcement. So I guess I'll leave it there. This is Weekend T-Shirts. Thanks for watching.